Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on Harrods, often referred to as the Palace of Knightsbridge, to deconstruct exactly how the world's most famous department store transforms the completely mundane act of shopping into this highly valuable, awe-inspiring theatrical event. We're going to unpack the strategy, the rich history, and the psychology behind their massive success. Okay, so let's dive right into this illusion by asking a pretty basic question. Why on earth do we buy things we don't actually need? And how can a store make us feel like we're an audience member at a spectacular show? I mean, think about your last trip to a basic grocery store versus a trip to a high-end boutique. One is just a chore you gotta get through, right? But the other is an event. Harrods operates on the absolute far end of this spectrum, totally blurring the lines between a traditional retail space and a full-blown entertainment venue. When you really dig into the psychology, phenomenological research from industry pros and customers reveals that modern luxury isn't just about a hefty price tag or premium materials anymore. It's entirely about creating a compelling illusion of magic. It's about the aesthetic principles enlisted from the exact moment you see the building from the street, and that continues through literally every single interaction you have inside. Ultimately, the luxury is in the magic. To really understand how they pull this off, we're using insights directly from a fascinating study out of the Journal of Promotional Communications at Bournemouth University. They actually interviewed the designers of the Harrods experience and the customers who consume it, which gives us a rare backstage pass to how this grand trick is executed. Section 1. The Magic of Harrods, Deconstructing the Illusion. So, the very first part of this trick is shifting your mindset. You're no longer running an errand, you are actively seeking entertainment. This perfectly illustrates experiential consumption. In this framework, the true value lies in the escapism, the memories, and the sensory engagement of the environment. You aren't just buying a bag, you're consuming the fantasy, the prestige, and the sheer fun of the space. Harrods positions itself not just as a seller of goods, but as a premier stager of experiences. It really comes down to a stark contrast between two types of shoppers. You've got your utilitarian shopper. They view shopping as a chore. They just want to get in, get the item, and get out. Quick and easy. But Harrods caters specifically to the hedonic shopper. This is the person seeking pure pleasure. They want to linger. They want to be captivated. Harrods designs every square inch to trigger this desire for emotional worth and entertainment. Section 2. Staging the retail theater. The script, and the actors. If the hedonic customer wants a show, how exactly does the store build the physical stage to provide it? Well, the secret weapon here is retail theater. It's a strategy that uses this larger-than-life hyper-reality to induce a climate of absolute reverence and awe. In retail theater, the building itself is the venue, the products are the props, and the staff, they're the actors. It is a highly orchestrated production designed to transport you out of your everyday reality and into a spectacular, themed environment. Take their handbag narratives campaign, for example. It's brilliant. They didn't just toss some exclusive designer bags in a window. They paired these oversized bags with tiny, meticulous tools and equipment to playfully showcase the immense effort and craftsmanship behind the product. It's literally telling you a fairy tale story before you even walk through the doors. Now, what's really fascinating here is how all these elements perfectly combine, from those immersive window campaigns that pull you in, to the visual storytelling, all the way to the sales staff who share these deep historical anecdotes about a product's origin. It creates one seamless, overarching thematic journey. The staff aren't just processing transactions, They are highly trained actors, adding immense experiential value to every single interaction. Listen to this quote from the Harrods archivist. I love this. Shopping revolves around getting people what they want before they realize they want it. By treating shopping as a pure pleasure activity, their goal is to anticipate your desires and create such a powerful emotional connection that you feel enriched just by being there. The actual purchase just becomes a bonus souvenir of the experience. Section 3. Roots of a Retail Empire. The Historical Stage. Of course, to pull off a grand illusion of this scale today requires some seriously deep roots. Let's look at the timeline. Charles Henry Harrod was born back in 1799. By 1834, he established a modest grocer business. Then, in 1849, he opened a small Knightsbridge shop, which was eventually sold to his son Charles Digby Harrod in 1861. This timeline shows exactly how a tiny grocery venture laid the foundation for the global theatrical icon we know today. Over the course of the next 167 years, they locked down 5 core brand values: British, luxury,
innovation, sensation, and service. And these aren't just corporate buzzwords thrown on a wall. This is the actual script that every single generation of management follows, culminating in their famous driving motto, anything is possible. It's this exact consistency over centuries that gives their theatrical performance so much weight.
Because heritage isn't just historical trivia, right? It's an absolutely crucial strategic tool. As this quote highlights, true luxury requires a mythos to legitimize the brand. When you ride those famous gold escalators at Harrods, you aren't just in a store. You are actively participating in a 19th century London lineage. That rich history is the ultimate prop in the retail theater.
Section 4. Innovating the luxury experience. The audience becomes the cast. But here's the thing. A historic giant cannot just coast on its history to satisfy today's modern shopper. They have to continuously innovate to keep the magic trick feeling fresh. Take the Protosphere exhibition, for example. It didn't just display clothes, it intellectually engaged curious visitors. From multi-sensory experiences to high-profile collaborations with Vogue, they make sure they're always viewed as cutting-edge trendsetters, never just a dusty museum of retail past.
But the absolute ultimate twist in their modern retail theater, that happens in the super brands department. Here, the brand concessions are designed as literal, transparent glass boxes. It's this bold architectural choice that takes the whole concept of shopping and turns it completely on its head.
This right here perfectly illustrates the final layer of the illusion. It's an ingenious shift from performing for the customer to actually making the customer the star actor in the show. As one shopper noted, when you step inside those glass boxes, you are literally on display. You become the mannequin. You become the object of aspiration for everyone walking by outside. It's a brilliant psychological trick that feeds both the elite status of the brand and, let's be honest, the ego of the consumer.
By seamlessly blending their deep-rooted 19th century heritage with this revolutionary theatrical design, Harrods really does execute the perfect magic trick of luxury retail. They use history to validate their innovations, and they use innovations to keep their history alive. It is an absolute masterclass in experiential consumption that has kept them squarely at the pinnacle of the retail world.
So the next time you walk into a luxury department store, I want you to look closely at the stage being set all around you. Ask yourself this final question. Are you just buying a product, or are you paying for a ticket to the show? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it completely changes the way you look at your next shopping experience.